Hi everybody and welcome to your art class. It's me, Mr. Mingoni, and we're going to make some fun art today. It's going to be great. I hope you're excited. I'm going to start out by actually showing you a really cool art video. So that's pretty exciting. We get to watch a cool video on YouTube together. Check this out. Alright, here we go. So this is an artist who's making a really cool picture. And it has a little something to do with what we're going to be drawing today. She's using something called watercolor paints. And maybe some of you have those at home. You can use them if you want. If you don't have them at home, that's okay too. She's making a fish. Because we're going to be drawing some fish and some underwater creatures today. It's going to be really fun. So I really like this artist because one thing she does is she'll paint the whole thing in one color, just in blue, and then even though it looks like she's done, she could be done, she says, what else can I add? And she adds another color over it. Check it out. Using two colors together. How cool is that? And when she mixes the yellow and the blue, what color does that kind of make a little bit? Does that look a little green to you? Yeah. If you mix some yellow and some blue, you get green. That looks so beautiful. Oh, and she's adding some gold. Wow. What a nice touch. Beautiful. What an excellent painting. Let's just get one more final look at that. Wow. Beautiful fish painting. Very cool. So hopefully that gets you feeling inspired. Inspired means, inspired is like when you see some really cool art or something really cool, and it makes you want to make art. It makes you say, hey, I wonder if I could do something like that. Maybe I could try, or maybe I'll do a fish. Right? That's called being inspired, and that's why I like to show you a lot of these art videos. So, what we're going to do today, like I said, we're going to make some fish. We're going to make a little underwater scene. It's going to be really fun. So, I'm going to go ahead, aim my camera down here. So that you can see my paper. There we go. Alright, that'll work. And let's just zoom in a little bit here. Okay, and there's my paper. I'm using some crayons today. That you can use whatever you have. It could just be a pencil. Could be markers. Could be watercolor paints. Who knows? So this is all going to be an underwater scene. So I'm going to put some waves at the top. That's the top of the water. Some nice waves at the top so that we know everything's underwater. In the bottom here, what happens if you go underwater? And what's all the way at the bottom there? Well, you might have some sand, you might have some rocks, you might have some mud, I don't know. So I'm going to draw some brown here just to get started. Maybe that's the sand, and maybe I'll add some rocks and things later too. So we're going to think, what are some things that live underwater? Interesting thing to think about. We might see some fish, right? So you can draw along with me. You can draw the same things that I'm drawing if you want, or, and this would be even better, you can draw your own things. Draw things that are a little bit different, and that's good too. It's nice to be creative, so you can get some inspiration from what I'm drawing. You can get some ideas from what I'm drawing, but it's always good to draw things your own way too. So when I draw a fish, I usually start with the shape of the body. And the cool thing about fish is there are so many different types of fish. Let's look at some. You know, you can have fish with all different body shapes. You can have fish with all different shapes of fins. So here I just looked up types of fish. And let's look at one of these. Look at all those. They're so different. Look, this one has more of a round, kind of football-shaped body. And this one's got like a long body, right? This one's fin is like a little triangle, his tail fin, or her tail fin. Look at this shark's tail fin. That is a totally different shape. Or look at this tail fin. You see that? So they all have different parts, and they all look different. And I want to look at the parts of a fish too. So a fish has, let's look at this grouper here. It's got the body, right? He's got a tail fin, and then there's fins on top. There's a fin on the bottom, and there's fins on the side, right? 3 fins: top, bottom, and side. Okay? So we're going to try to put all of those different parts in there. So let's go back to my paper and see if we can draw a fish. So I'm going to start with the shape for the body. I'm going to do more of like a football-shaped body, like this, almost like an oval, right? And here's the thing, alright? If you try to draw that shape and it looks a little strange, that's fine. Just remember this, right? It could be any shape. So don't worry if your fish's body looks a little weird. There are some weird looking fish out there. And I'm going to just choose a type of fin. And you know what I would like to do, actually, that would be really helpful? I'm going to put this right down here. How neat is that? Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. So you can see some different fish types up there to give you some ideas. So I'm going to do just a basic kind of this type of fin, like the triangle. And on the top, maybe one that goes like this. I'm going to do kind of a basic, what is in my mind kind of a basic fish. And then some of them have 2 fins on the bottom. Like some of them have like one down here and one down here, right? And then they have a fin on the side, which mine's going to look like that. See that? And of course, they've got an eye. And a mouth. Sometimes they have like a little jaw that comes up like this. There's all different kinds of mouths. Some have big sharp teeth. Okay, so that's my fish. I'm gonna draw, and they have cool patterns on them too, don't they? Let's look at this grouper right here. See this? The pattern, if you don't remember, a pattern means repeating shapes or colors. So colors are shapes that happen over and over and over. So look, this one has like almost little circles on it. Isn't that a cool pattern? This one has little polka dots. This peacock bass has like stripes. So you can think of a pattern for your fish too. How fun is that? So let's come up with a pattern. I'm going to use a different color for my fish's pattern. This fish is going to have a pattern of red stripes. I'll call it a red striper. I just made it up. It's not a real fish, but that's okay. And you can draw some patterns on the fins too. That's pretty fun. I like it. I like my red striper. Okay. Now I'm gonna make another fish, and here's my goal. My goal is to make another fish that's totally different. completely different kind of fish. So I'm going to get different color. And this one's going to be big and long. Look at how long that one is. That's cool. And this one's going to have sharp teeth. It's going to have a mouth that goes like this and sharp teeth. And his eye will be way back here. And then for the fin, we'll give it this type of fin. Look at that. It's like spikes. And then for the top fin, we'll have some spikes too. It's kind of a spiky looking fish. This is a cool fish. I like this one. This one's way cool. Spiky fins on the bottom. And I'll make his side fin kind of match the back fin. And then I'll come up with a pattern. I'll grab a different color and I'll come up with a pattern for my fish. Let's see. I was gonna go with red, but I used red for the last one. So this one will have these kind of like almost square patterns. They're like almost like a cross between a circle and a square. They're kind of round squares. So that's fun. A cool pattern. Well, that's a nice looking fish. I like that one. And maybe I'll color the fins orange. I like the green and orange. It looks nice. Nice looking fish. I'd be pretty happy to catch that fish. I might be a little scared. I mean, those are some sharp teeth. I might not want to pick it up by its mouth like I would a different kind of fish. Alright. I would definitely draw some more fish, but I'm going to think about what else lives under the water. Okay? So, what else lives underwater? Are there plants that live underwater? Yeah, there are. There's all different kinds of plants that live underwater. Let's take a look at some. A lot of times the plants that live underwater we call seaweed. And there's lots of different types. I'm going to pull up a picture here that you can see. So you can see different types of seaweed. Here we go. Look at all those. Wow. You know what these ones are called? If you had to take a guess, what do they look like? Those are called sea grapes. Isn't that funny? Sea grapes. They're not really grapes, but they look like grapes. That's what they call them that. So there's all different kinds. There's leafy, long leafy ones that twist and spin in the water. There's branchy ones that look like a little tree. There's ones that look like grapes. There's all kinds of different seaweeds. So you can make up your own. You can draw some of these. I'm going to draw one of these long branchy ones. I like it. So first I'm going to draw the stem. Okay, the stem is this part in the middle. It's like almost like the sticks, right? Or the branches. That's the stem. Oh, I gotta make this a little smaller so you can see what I'm drawing. Okie dokie. There we go. And then I'll make some long twisty leaves. That's fun to draw those long twisty leaves. I like it. And they're all flowing out in this direction. So it looks like maybe that's the way the current is going. Do you know what that means? The current? The current means the way the water is flowing. So the water might be moving this way. Like if it's a river, there could be a current. Sometimes, you know, oceans can have a current. That's what that means. And I'll color them. Color the leaves. Looks nice. I like my seaweed there. And I'll draw one more kind of seaweed. I'll do two. Okay. I can't get my mind off those sea grapes. They're so cool. I gotta draw me some sea grapes. Alright. So it looks like they have like a long part on the bottom. And then, you know, I'll draw the this part here. And the sea grapes just have lots of little circles. It's a pretty easy one to draw. But they keep going up and up. Right? It's not like just a big pile. It's like they go up like a little tower of these little grapey things. Alright, look at this. That's pretty fun to make sea grapes. I don't know why I like that so much. It's just kind of funny. Sea grapes. And I'll put a little yellow in mine. That's just how I want them to look. You can make them any color you want. I mean, it's your scene. You can do it however you like. You can make up your own. That's fine. You know, I'll do one more because I see there's like some cool red ones, and I want a little bit of red in there too. Yeah, I like this kind of red leafy ones, just for a little variety. Or a little, you know what we call this is biodiversity. Ooh, there's $100 word right there. Biodiversity. What that means is that there's lots of different types of plants and animals, right? Like, if you have a yard and it only has grass, it does not have a lot of biodiversity because it just has one kind of plant. But if you have a yard that has like some grass and some dandelions and some clovers and some flowers, that's biodiversity, right? That's cool. Alright, so I've got 3 different types of seaweed there. That's nice. Let's think about what else we can add to our underwater scene. What lives underwater? I mean, we got fish, we got seaweed. What else lives underwater? There's something weird I want to show you that lives underwater. It's a very strange and beautiful thing. Let's take a look. What is this? What's that stuff? Is that seaweed? That don't look like seaweed to me. What is that? Is that a brain? No, it's not a brain. This is coral. How cool and magical is that? Look at all that coral. Wow, it's so colorful and awesome. How could we make underwater art without making coral? Gotta make some coral. So, even though coral looks like a plant, it's actually a living animal. Isn't that cool? It's really, really cool. It's a living, breathing animal that eats and breathes. So, there's so many different types of coral. I don't even know where to start. I'm gonna pull up, I'm gonna say types of coral so we can see some different types. Okay, here we go. This is gonna help us out. Look at these. They're so cool. They look like plants, like they almost have those weird branchy parts, but some of them are totally different. Like they look like weird little brains or little tubes. Or this one looks like almost like a towel all wrapped up in the water. So we're going to make some coral, and we're going to make it nice and colorful, because this is a good opportunity to add some good color to our scene. Alright, so what color am I missing? Let's see. I'm missing purple. I don't have purple in mine, so I'll try to add some purple. And I'm going to make some awesome coral. And a lot of times, coral lives on rock. Right, we'll have something called a coral reef. So I'm going to add in the background here, see how it's going behind my fish like that? Oh, here. You see how I did that? I drew this rock, but I put it behind the fish. I didn't, so it looks like the fish is in front of it. So it kind of stopped when I got to the fish and started again down here. It looks like it's behind. I'll do the same thing with the seaweed. Look, when I hit the sea grapes, I go behind it. I don't draw over it. I stop and I go behind it. And that looks like there's some rocks behind my seaweed and my fish. How cool is that? And now I have this whole place that I can add some awesome coral. Maybe I'll try one of these. Looks like that. And then it's got all these little, it looks like hairs coming out. Look at that. That's really fun to draw, and it looks great. I'll draw a couple of those. Maybe I'll draw a smaller one. Maybe it's a little baby one. Wow. What an amazing creature, huh? It's like a different planet underwater sometimes. Alright, and then maybe I'll make... what colors am I missing here? That's what I like to think about. I've kind of got all the colors, so I'm just going to do whatever I feel like. I'm going to use some blue. And I'm going to make one of these ones that looks like tubes. So I draw kind of these rectangle shapes like this. But then I'll put a little circle on the top, and it'll look like these little tubes. And they have a texture on them. I think these might be sea sponges. I'm not totally sure about that. Oh, sea cucumbers. I think they're called sea cucumbers. Let me look it up just to be sure. I think those are called sea cucumbers. Let's see. Isn't that funny? Okay, so a sea cucumber is a little different. I don't think that's a sea cucumber. But I can show you what a sea cucumber looks like. Maybe we'll draw one. It's this strange creature that lives under the water. Wow, you see that? That's really something, isn't it? What a strange, strange creature that is. I'll have to add one of those. Okay, I'm gonna make a sea cucumber now. I drew some different kinds of coral. I'll make mine kind of orange, because these ones look like they're orange. Put the sea cucumber right down here. He's going to be right by the sea grapes, and they're going to have a little sea picnic together of healthy seafoods. So it's kind of a long little lump like that, but it's got all these little nubby things on it. So they're almost like spikes, but I'm making them round. You see that? And I just draw those all over the whole thing, and I've got this really cool sea cucumber. Let's take a minute to learn about sea cucumbers. I want to know more. I'm always curious to learn more about strange and interesting things. You keep on drawing in your ocean scene. I know you got plenty more to do. And I'll share some information about sea cucumbers. Well, it looks like a sea cucumber is an animal that lives in the ocean. And they're found on the sea floor. They crawl around on the floor of the ocean. Pretty interesting animal, huh? Really cool. Alright. I'd say that looks about like my sea cucumber. So, just to be clear, it's not a cucumber. Somebody just thought they'd give it a funny name. Like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we called this thing a sea cucumber? Because it kind of looks like a cucumber. And then the other guy said, I don't know what kind of cucumbers you're eating. Do your cucumbers look like that? He said, yeah, not really, but it's still a funny name. No, I'm just playing around a little bit. I don't think that actually happened. But who knows? Somebody named it a sea cucumber and thought that would be a good name. And that's pretty funny. There's my sea cucumber. Alright. Oh, there's so much more we can do. We've got about 5 minutes left, so we're just going to keep adding stuff at this point. What I'm going to do is add some more coral. I'm not even looking at a picture this time. I'm just going to make up my own coral. Like, what if there was one that came up like this? It went like this. It doesn't have to be a real fish or real coral. You could just make it up. That's fine. Coral often is bumpy. Now, one of the reasons that it's important to take care of our environment is because the coral reefs in the world, sometimes they have a hard time with, if we don't take care of the environment, if we don't recycle and we don't turn the lights off and we get garbage and we litter it outside, sometimes all that stuff hurts the oceans. And the coral reefs don't like that. And they're so beautiful, so we got to take care of them. And also they're very important because everything in the ocean all works together. They all share food, and they all kind of, some things take care of each other. Like there's one kind of animal in the ocean called an anemone that kind of looks like this. And they'll give you a little shock if you touch it. Kind of zap you a little bit. But what's cool is they actually provide a house for a certain type of fish. Have you ever seen the movie Finding Nemo? There's this cute little fish that lives in there called a clownfish, which is what Nemo is. And he lives inside an anemone. And the anemone actually doesn't hurt the clownfish, so they can sit inside there. So if anyone else tries to go get them, they get zapped by the anemone. But it doesn't hurt the clownfish. So, the clownfish needs the anemone. So if the anemones go away, the clownfish doesn't have a house. So that's why we need to take care of the oceans and take care of our environment, okay? It's very important. And we love the animals in the ocean, and we love our world and our environment. So, we always want to be thinking of ways that we can take care of it. So I would say for you, you can't do everything all at once. You got to kind of pick one thing. I would say try not to litter, right? Try not to, if you have some garbage, make sure it gets in the garbage can. That's a pretty good thing that you can do. I think that's a good plan for, as a way that you can help out the oceans and help them stay healthy. Because we don't want our garbage getting out into the water and hurting the fish. That would be sad. So let's make sure our garbage all gets in the garbage can. That's a good thing that you can do. And as you get older, you'll probably learn some more things that you can do, but you don't have to worry about all that right now. You'll get there. I'm just kind of coloring in my sand here. This is such a beautiful picture so far. I'm really liking it. I bet yours are really awesome too. You can definitely send me a picture of your art if you want to. You don't have to. I'm not collecting this one. I only collect it once every trimester. So you don't have to send it to me if you don't want to, but I love to see your art. So if you feel like it, go ahead and send it on over, okay? Alright, well that's about all the time that we have. I had a lot of fun doing this one. Wow. It's so fun. So we drew a bunch of fish. We drew some coral. We drew some seaweed. And we learned about things like biodiversity, which means there's lots of different types of animals and plants. We learned about how we can take care of our oceans so that everything can be happy and living together in the ocean, right? And we learned some cool art skills, and we had some fun. I'd say that was a good thing. So thanks for coming, everybody. I'll see you next time. And stay cool. All right, bye-bye.